We've also got the latest numbers compiled by Royal LePage Canada this morning, finding that a spring rebound in prices not necessarily in the cards for the GTHA's housing market. So to break down the latest numbers, we're joined live this morning by Royal LePage President and CEO Phil Sopher. Phil, we always appreciate talking real estate with you, so thanks for being here this morning. Let's talk about what's happened in the GTHA market here. Why are you not expecting perhaps that spring market bounce we typically see?
Well, in this particular piece of research, we also asked people about their attitudes, and their attitudes specifically towards the economy related to American trade policy. And we found the population in Ontario was divided right down the middle. The half of people said it wasn't going to impact their decision to move to a home, and half the people said, no, I'm just not in the right mind space. Now, if you divide it further, of those who said they're sitting on the sidelines, only a third of those, so call it 17% of the population overall, said it's an affordability issue. For almost everyone, it is the challenge with uncertainty.
And are there regional differences here, Phil? I mean, I'm talking about not just difference in the GTHA, but just across Canada in terms of attitudes and, feelings or sensitivities towards, the real estate market?
Yeah, prices are essentially flat, down a little in condos in the GTA, but flat in single-family homes. But if you look next door in Montreal, prices are up considerably. They're up in Atlantic Canada. They're up on the prairies. It's just our most expensive markets, the Greater Vancouver, Greater Toronto, where we're seeing really a slowdown in activity this spring.
And that's interesting, right? Because, I mean, the higher end would obviously mean, perhaps fewer people, Phil, can afford that. And this current, economic uncertainty, the tariffs and everything else, it all plays into the psychology. I mean, it seems like no story we do these days doesn't take into account the threat of tariffs from Donald Trump. And you're seeing that in your numbers.
Yeah. Now, if we do see a parallel to 2020 emerge and the pandemic, people do adjust when they realize their job isn't on the line. It's a general period of call it macroeconomic crisis, but for their household, they're good, that interest rates are dropping, that they have the down payment saved, that home prices are stable, and they do move on. But it does take some time. And of course, when things change every 24 hours in Washington, it's hard for people to find footing.
Exactly. And so here's the other thing is we all know what's happening south of the border. We also know here we're in the midst of a federal election campaign. We're just less than 2 weeks away now from Election Day. Phil, I wonder if, again, housing policy gets talked about, but so much of it gets crowded up by what we're hearing, about tariffs south of the border. Right now, we have heard different, plans or proposals from the federal parties here. Is anything of what you're hearing encouraging for the future of Canada's housing market?
The good news on two fronts, the uncertainty around a federal election at home, which is uncertainty, will be over soon. We can't count on that coming out of the United States. If you look at housing party from the two leading parties, they are both focused on regulatory reform and making it easier for developers to develop more homes. You'd think at this particular time when sales volumes are down, we don't have an issue with housing supply. We have an issue with housing supply. It's just been, a wrench has been thrown into the normal market. We have many more people looking for homes in general in Canada than we have homes to provide them. And both major parties are focused on bringing more homes to to our big cities in particular, where affordability is strained.
It certainly is an issue. Okay, Phil Sopher, always appreciate the time. That is Royal LePage President and CEO. Join us again here on Breakfast. Thanks for breaking this down for us, Phil. Appreciate this.